Good to get Wah back out there.
Yeah, good to see him. New red jersey, very bright. Can't miss him. Yeah, I'm sure he's more excited than anybody, to be honest. No one likes being away from their teammates, especially when things are going well. So good to have him out there.
Do you think he plays tomorrow, or do you think that's still a little ways out?
Oh, he won't play tomorrow, no, not ready yet. Obviously, once he gets with us in a normal color jersey, then probably have a much better timeline, but not tomorrow. But obviously, getting there.
Barbashev any close, or?
He skated on his own. I know for sure yesterday. So again, he's not in a red with us. You know what I mean? Like at least with us, so that he's probably further along. Would be my guess, but that could change, unfortunately.
The power play, one of the things that's been kind of seemingly heading in the wrong direction is entries. Is there something you're noticing that's not going right there?
Well, usually entries, it's about execution, right? Because everyone's running some sort of delay. Whether it's two guys coming back, three or one. But it's making that play when you get between the red and the blue and having enough pace, and that's where we haven't been as clean. So that's a problem because it's not easy to just sit on one entry because a lot of teams use a delay and they have 3 or 4 options, right? So you got to choose the right one in real time. So for me, that's a bit of our problem is our first pass, once we get over the red line, not as clean to allow the guy receiving it to drive the puck deep and then find one of the options. So we got to clean that up, and then a little more pace on the entry to back teams off could be better. But that's everywhere. That's in the O-zone as well. And I feel honestly that what we're not doing is starting with a puck nearly as much as we did at the start of the year. For whatever, we're not getting it back as a group of 5. If we lose the draw, and we're not winning as many. And to be honest, Tom's getting thrown out a lot of draws. So I'd like to get to the bottom of that with the linesman, what's going on, because it seems like he's getting thrown out a disproportionate amount of time just on power play situations.
Is that something that you can call the league and go over them, or how does that work?
I don't know, because they're going to tell you, well, there's 40 linesmen, so you're a different one every night. Is it? You sure it's not your player because it's a different line? It's not a single. So we have to sit down with Thomas, have him maybe for a while here, just be a little more patient. But if you're not trying to anticipate in a draw, your chances of winning it decrease.
Bruce, you mentioned there's a lot of linesmen. Oh, sorry.
Grab a mic there, Ghosh.
Okay,
please.
how you doing? I'm Dave. There's a lot of linesmen, a lot of referees. Do you have your own internal book on them? And
I thought you were going to ask favorite. And I was going to say no. I do not, Dave.
But just on how they work games.
Yes, linesmen. There are some that wave off icings that are head scratchers to people on both teams. So you know that there's going to be a couple each. Don't ever give up on a puck because they're going to find a way to sort of anticipate the roll of the puck down the ice. So I know there's a few guys that. Usually those are the guys that want to be a little more involved. They'll also be the guys, if you're in a line change, they'll be the ones calling the 2-minute men on the ice that are really close. Now, we're pretty good with that, I'd say. We don't get caught a lot. But so, yes. And then officials, I think there's some that call a tighter game than others. That's just human nature. I think most of our games there's not a lot of high event, I shouldn't say high event, but a lot of high power play penalty kills on each side. It doesn't happen that often. So, but yes, there are a few too that are more likely to put a team down 5-on-3 than others. And you kind of get to know them as well. So, but I don't think that it'll never change our approach how we're going to play on a power play for feeling, or kill a penalty. If it, that shouldn't. You're out there trying to do the job. You're not worried about what's going through an official's head. So to be quite honest, I'm less surprised. I'll go into a game and I'll think tonight could be the night we get a 5-on-3 or have to kill one, I guess, with some of those officials. So maybe you're dialed into that part of the meeting that you don't get that many of them, so you're not always going through every situation. But that's one that I'll tell the coaches, be on top, make sure you take a look at what they're doing, because I remember getting a few for and against with this particular gentleman.
Bruce, when you mentioned kind of the entries when it comes to the power play, but when you do have the puck in zone, are you seeing more looks that you're hoping to see of late, or does it still feel maybe stagnant like you said a couple of weeks ago?
I think our pace needs to be better because they're taking away one of the things we worked on early in the year was the goal line into the bumper or low seam. Teams have crowded that area more. And we haven't been as efficient with the shot when we get it there, right? You know, when you got half a second to get it off, and it has to be on net, and it has to be somewhere hopefully where the goalie can't control the rebound if it doesn't go in. So we've got to be better on that. We've misfired on a few. And then I think, okay, from there you say, okay, if they're going to take that away, then there has to be something open up high or on the elbow. And that's where I think we've got to be more direct in terms of knowing that this is going to be there, take the shot from there, and then hit the net from up top. That's part of it too. I thought what Buffalo did the other day, they're fronting the elbows in the top, and we're always shooting through somebody, and that means we're not moving the puck well enough or moving a little bit to create a shooting lane against the diamonds, which a lot of teams are doing. So that was a problem for us. We need to move more. The puck has to move faster. Pace. I know it sounds like the token answer, but it's typically what bogs power plays down. The best ones are a little bit unpredictable because the puck's moving very quickly or people are moving. So you're kind of going through multiple reads as a killer. And we've got to get our pace back up, whether we're moving our feet. I don't think we need to change like move Jack over to, you know what I mean? There's always those things you think, well, maybe Jack on the other side, coming downhill. I don't know if we're there yet where we need to do that. I think if we are quicker with our puck movement and more accurate with the shot we do take, I think we'll see results get back to where they were. So that's going to be our area of focus here in the next X amount of time. And if we have to blow it up and change our plan, we will. I don't think we're there yet.
I know it's probably easier to say you want to take the third period from San Jose and translate it over right away tomorrow night, but do you go into tomorrow putting a little bit more eyes on their young line and try and take away their time and space and let
Well, we'll talk about them. I mean, they were a factor in the game. They impacted the game. And Celebrini's done it now for a while. This isn't by accident. We're halfway through the year. So, you know, Smith's coming along a little bit, so they're getting probably a feel for the league, what they can get away with, what they can't, etc. I don't know which goaltender we'll see. That Askarov's playing very well for them. I don't know how much they're going to run him out there. But I think the last game was a little bit situational too, Danny. We got two shorthanded goals right out of the gate, so it was one of those things that probably only happen on the same shift once a year at best. So I don't think it's more about the attack mindset if we had going into that period. Hey, we got to get going here. We've dug ourselves a bit of a hole in the second period, so let's get going from the start, which I thought was good against Buffalo. If we can transpose that start into San Jose, we're on our toes and we're attacking and not giving up a lot and putting teams on their heels. And I think then that would be a nice approach tomorrow.